Just a few short months after my first marriage failed, I received a phone call one October evening in 2001 from Mike. Mike and I just worshiped each other and became this married couple that I knew I had always wanted for my life. After 13 years together, 11 of those spent as husband and wife, we were exactly where we wanted to be. At 1 o'clock on that December 29th, 2014, I received a message from my stepson's mom that was some concern that Tristan had heard maybe his dad had gotten hurt at work that day. My initial thought was that he had probably gotten hurt, broken a bone or something, and that we were going to have a hospital visit. So I called his number, and a man's voice answered the phone, and the breathing was a little bit labored. And I immediately, I thought it was Mike. And I remember, I was like, "Babe, what's going on?" And he says, "Is this Veronica?" And I said, "Yeah, babe, what's happening?" And finally the voice says, "No, ma'am, this is not Mike. This is Tim," and I can't even remember the man's last name, and I am the Shannon County coroner. So we planned the funeral. You know, the hardest part of that process was when you just have to go to the funeral home. And when we got to the viewing room, the doors were closed, and Eric prepped me, and he said, when I open these, you're gonna see Mike. And he was lying on a cold silver table, and he was covered in a white sheet, except for his left arm was out, and it was lying on his chest. And I grabbed a hold of his hand, and I laid my head on his chest, and I told him how sorry I was that this happened to him, and I told him how much I loved him. And I let my head rest on his chest for a long time, and part of me kept hoping that I would hear that familiar heartbeat.
The pain and grief associated with becoming a widow is so immense. It buckles you. It changes you drastically. You have no idea how you're going to continue. You only know that you have to.
About 4 months after I lost my husband, I began publishing my blog, and I decided to title it Still His Times Forever. And I did this because of a couple of reasons. When Mike was taken from this world, we were madly in love, husband and wife, and that didn't just end the day he took his last breath. And I felt like, and still feel like, a part of my heart, a part of me will always belong to Mike. I feel like if you don't have something to hang on to, if you don't have faith in something way bigger and way more powerful than the grief you feel, then I don't know how you're gonna make it. So I wanted to use Still His, that I don't just belong to Mike still, but that I still belong to God. Losing that person we shared a life with wasn't part of God's plan, but our growth from that loss is part of God's plan. And I just kept thinking in my mind that if anything good at all, if that's even a concept, that anything good can come from this tragedy, it's going to have to be that I'm not the only one to experience this, and that maybe something I say can help somebody else.
When she started up Still His, it was after she'd been writing her blog for a while, and as sad as it sounds, I loved reading about her journey because it was so similar to my journey. I could really relate to what she was saying.
So this was a way that I just had to get things off my chest. When widowhood strikes, you feel completely crazy. You feel isolated, you feel alone, you feel misunderstood. So I continued my writing journey, And randomly, one day I received a message on Twitter from a total stranger reaching out to me, and she said, "Hey, I don't want you to think I'm crazy, because I'm not, but I've been following your blog, and I just lost my husband last April, and the way that you sign off on your blog post with #StillHis really resonates with me. Have you ever thought of starting a business based around that hashtag, a widow type business?" And so I thought, what do I have to lose? And so Still His began. Kimberly Holmes Wiggins is my widow sister, my Wister, and my business partner.
When she started up Still His, I instantly said, I want to be on board. I want to help in any way I can. So for me, Still His is all about giving back and helping others so that they don't feel the loneliness I felt.
We partnered with the Dinner Party a few months ago, which is a nationally renowned organization. It's actually an international organization that hosts dinner party tables for grieving people. And Still His has hosted the very first widowed-only dinner parties.
You don't have to fake your smile, and you can just really be who you are. You can cry if you need to. You can laugh when you want to.
And it has brought such a feeling of family to this group. And it's such a great thing for us to be able to do, to reach out and just make connections with people. One of our favorite things is what we call a Widow Love Box. And the Widow Love Boxes are our way of giving back to widows and widowers. And these love boxes always come with an item from our online store, usually our trademark Still His or Still Hers tee. And then we just go on a shopping spree and we fill it full of all kinds of just fun little things to bring a smile to this person's face. And we have people who go onto our website and actually purchase a love box for a person, or we have people who email us nominations. And so we just randomly go through these nominations, we pull a name from the list, and we just send them this box of love for free. We always personalize it with a handwritten note, some words of encouragement, and the feedback we have received is priceless. It's more than we could ever hope for. My purpose to my pain is to help as many widows and widowers walk this path, hanging on to your faith, learning to live again, learning to love again, to hope again, learning to heal, one step at a time, one day at a time. That's what we're here for. Don't hesitate to reach out. Don't hesitate to ask for support, to ask for advice, to just ask for somebody who gets it, because we do.